I'm always looking out for people. I could carry my house rent.
And that's somebody.
Once money comes into my hand, I'm thinking of who was the person that last asked me for money. You used to do anyhow.
Must you always go and meet your daddy? Your daddy, your daddy.
Hello.
Stay with your mom. See how she's sleeping. Oh my god. Wow, I'm proud of you.
But also just say small truth inside 10 years of managing my excesses.
Hi. Hello. Welcome once again to our channel, our YouTube channel. We are happy to see you.
Like good what else in children used to do in class?
Good morning, sir. We are happy to see you. Welcome to primary 5.
Is that where you stopped? As in primary school now?
Yes, I actually stopped in primary 5.
Eh.
Yeah, I didn't do primary 6.
Because the moment you mentioned primary 5, it looked like you were resonating with something. Welcome, guys. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about the things that we have learned along the way. It's been an interesting journey, not necessarily a smooth one, but it's been interesting.
Very interesting.
I guess in life, one of the most important things to do is to be determinant, is to make up your mind to follow through with something, irrespective of the hurdles. And I think that's one reason why people will stay or not stay in marriage. When you completely make up your mind to stay in marriage, irrespective of what is and is not happening, um, then you will stay. Otherwise, you will jump in and out of marriages or relationship or businesses or
whatever you have proposed to.
Yeah. So I think for us, the reason why we have made it to 10 years is not because it was easy. It really wasn't easy, but because we made up our minds to stick with each other, come rain, come shine.
There's something that Reverend Tinua Segome told me during my bridal shower, and it has stuck with me all these years. She spoke about banking forgiveness in advance. Just like you have siblings, no matter what they do to you, you forgive them. They are still your sibling. You cannot discipline them.
You don't divorce them because
you cannot discipline them. So she said those words, spoke about it. It actually resonated with my spirit, and I took it and I ran with it. So in this marriage, what has really helped me is banking forgiveness in advance.
And trust me, she has a very, very, very huge vault because she has. I've probably exhausted. I don't know if I've probably exhausted it because she has had to forgive me too many times in this. Okay, so for me, the first on my list of the 10 things that I'm going to mention is contentment, which is something, of course, that you taught me. Like I said in the previous video we did, we really didn't have much when we started. Everything we had was basic, but it really wasn't an issue for me per se. But what really struck me was how that she didn't put me under any pressure. When I say it wasn't really an issue for me, is because I'd always just managed myself as a single young guy. I'd always just managed myself. But for her, she had been quite exposed. She had traveled out of the country. She was independently doing well. She had worked in the bank. You know, she was living by herself. And all of that. Um, so for me to have brought her from the lifestyle she was already used to into the last lifestyle I was offering at the time, and having her not put me under pressure to provide certain things, that really struck a chord. So I learned contentment at that point. Now, please, we need to note that contentment does not necessarily mean you should be comfortable. You can be contented, you can be content with you can be content with where you are, what you have part time, while you are working on living that level, but no pressure. You're not trying to impress anybody, because we live in that age. We live in that time where impression is everything. Everybody wants to come on social media and show that they have something, that, or try and prove that they are something that they actually are not. But I learned very early in our marriage that we're not out to impress anybody. And so the fact that, like I said, everything we had was basic, but my wife would, she had, in fact, she still has what we call Midas touch. Every little thing she touches, can just come alive. And so she made the little things that we had, look big. So, I mean, I'm the one who is to provide. She's the one who is supposed to complain, but I'm the one who would be feeling uncomfortable, and she's the one who will be encouraging me and telling me, hey, look, this is just for this season, and I think I should just take this time and thank you, really, for not putting me under pressure, because I would have, if you put me under pressure to provide certain things at that time, I probably would have gone to do things that I, at the end of the day, would not be proud of, just so that I can make you feel better, or so that we can impress, your friends, especially some of your friends that were already, dissing you for dating me, that broke guy, and all of that. So yeah, so for me, contentment is one thing that I've learned.
Okay, on a lighter note, you said I didn't put you under pressure there. But now that some cool, now, can I put you under pressure by just calling out my account number, just for you to just show your appreciation in dollars,
Let me not say what I want to say.
So for me, I have learned something, and I'm still learning it. But before I make mention of what I want to say, let me just say something. There is this cliche that goes around to say, marry your friend, make sure who you're married to is your friend, blah 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 blah. And it ends there. Nobody talks about how you service this friendship in marriage, or how you create a balance between friendship and husbandhood. Now, this is what I have learned over the last 10 years, and I'm still learning it. I have learned how to create a balance between friendship, husband, a priest, and a father. These are the four things my husband is to me. My husband is my friend, my best friend. My husband
My best friend
is my husband. Of course, is my husband. My husband is my priest. I heard you. My husband is also a father to our lovely daughter. So, in marriage, I have learned how to strike a balance between all these four things I just mentioned. Know when he is to be my friend.
Mm.
Know when he is my husband,
Mm.
not neglecting my wifely duties, saying, after all, he's my friend, he will understand. Know when, oh no, now he's a priest over my life. He needs to speak over my life, and I don't take his words for granted. When he prays, the amen is as resounding as it can ever get. Then, how he is now a father, and I'm learning how to address him in his father regalia. So this is one thing I have learned, and I'm still learning it, how to strike this balance with no one conflicting against each other.
Wow. Well, I mean, it's not news, that friendship is really important,
Yeah.
in marriage, because um, every now and then you wake up in the morning and you don't feel that mushy.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you just need a friend to talk with.
True.
You don't want to talk to your husband. So for those of you, or for those of us who have someone else as a best friend, and then you have a husband, just know that very soon you will start cheating.
True.
Yeah, because the days when you wake up and you don't feel like talking to your husband and you want to talk with your friend, when you should have just helped your husband switch, roles and become a friend, you now have to go and look for a friend outside to
And
talk
mostly
with
when that best friend is the opposite
sex.
Huh.
It's a very dangerous thing. And this is the reason why the idea of dating, courtship, came on board. It wasn't really so for our parents. So as much as relationship, a lot of our parents, their marriages lasted and all of that. A lot of our parents are not friends.
Yeah.
A lot of them are not friends. They are just there. They love each other and all of that, but they are not friends. And there's just a sweetness that is missing in that. So that's the reason why courtship and dating and all of that came about, so that you can have time to know each other and bond more, become friends, go on dates, because that friendship is what will help you eventually. Thank you very much. Now, my number 2 is faith. My faith has grown
I can testify
tremendously. My faith has grown because so first of all, if you don't know, you should know now that we had to wait for our first baby for over 9 years. She came after our 9th year anniversary.
She came in the 10th year.
Yeah, she came
this year.
Yeah, she came this year, and this particular situation is one that came as a two-edged sword. So it came to strengthen our faith. However, it almost killed us. Yeah. So while it was helping us here, it was destroying us on the other side. But thankfully, we prevailed. We came out stronger.
Yeah, I'm better.
Yeah. Now, situations like this, amongst other situations, helped build my faith. And then I'm one who is always embarking on one project or the other, especially music projects. And I'll wake up and I'll tell my wife, babe, I want to do this thing. And she'll ask me, have you done the budget? My wife is a planner. Have you done the budget? I'm like, no, I've not done it. She doesn't do a budget. And usually I'm scared of doing the budget because I know I have an idea of how much this thing will cost. And I know if I see the amount, it will scare me. So a lot of times of course, eventually we still budget. But a lot of times now, it does not take away the place of planning.
Sure.
It does not take away the place of planning. But there are some of us who know that no matter how much we plan, we still have to completely rely on God to come through for us. And so, all of these situations. I mean, there are times also where, and these things I have to learn them on the job. There are times when my wife will say to me in the morning, "Babe, please, I need 45,000 naira. We need to go to abattoir tomorrow to buy goat meat." And in all honesty, I don't have that money in my account. I just tell her, "Okay, when do you need it?" She said, "Tomorrow morning." I said, "Okay, no problem. You get it tomorrow morning."
And guess what? Tomorrow morning, my husband calls and said, "Okay, I thought you said you were going to abattoir." I said, "But I checked your account. Don't mind, I have access to his account."
She
He
does.
said, when I checked your account, there was no money there." He will just smile. He said, "But I told you we will go tomorrow. Let's go." And somehow
I
the
don't know
money
how it happens.
it always
Hmm.
comes. As in me, I'm still learning faith.
I don't
My
know.
husband has a crazy faith.
I don't know how it happens. I don't know how it happens, but this is one thing that I have. God has helped me to walk in. This is one thing that God, I walk in absolute faith, and it has yielded a lot of results. There's a lot that going on in our family, a lot of positive things that have happened in our family that wouldn't have happened, wouldn't have been possible, but for faith.
True.
So yeah.
Yeah, and I also want to add to what he just said. I have also learned how to completely trust God. As in completely, just lay it down and just go. Yes, I do my planning, I do my own bidding, but I say, "God, this is you. It is you I'm looking at." Through him, that's how I learned how to just completely trust God. So the second thing on my plate now is I'm going to talk about communication, but with a twist. Because me, I'm speaking basically out of experience. I have learned how to listen. And guess what? He taught me. I'm a person that when I'm angry, I just want to say it as it is. As in, let me just get it off my chest. Let me say it. Once I say it like this, I feel better. And that thing, it really brought issues when we just got married. Really brought issues when we just got married. But over the years, I have learned how to pause and just take a deep breath. Then play whatever I want to say to myself. That's what he tells me. He says, say it first to yourself. How does it sound to you? Does it sound okay? Then you can now say it. So I have learned that, and guess what? I am still learning. I'm still learning how to pause, how to think again before I speak, then how to listen. How to listen. Because I find out that sometimes I just talk, and when I'm done talking, we are done. And he, being the kind of person he is, he will just say, "Okay, nothing to say." And to us, we've communicated, though. As in, we've communicated, and that is it. Everybody has moved on. But I just discovered that things just started getting worse. Things started getting worse and worse. So I really had to learn how to listen. Thank you, darling. I had to learn how to listen, how to pause, how to really listen. Even when he tells me nothing to say, I say, "No, you have something to say." That thing, you will say it. That thing. Then my husband will now start talking. And I say, "Okay, now you want to listen." Then he will now unburden his heart. Then he will talk. When he's now done talking, most of the things I wanted to say, I will now see how useless they were. Then when he will now say talk, I'm like, "Oh, no, not it. No, not really." I say that's when I really see how useless what I really wanted to say was. And listening is key.
I think generally in life, it pays to listen.
True.
Whichever way you decide to see it, whether it is for you or for a second party. if you're one who listens a lot, you will learn a lot.
True.
You
Very
don't
true.
you don't run into conclusions. Um, when you listen, you learn a lot. And when you're one who listen, people tend to trust you more.
Very true.
Because sometimes, I've spoken with, I can't count the number of persons who have told me, you should really consider, going into guidance and counseling and all of that. I'm like, I've never thought about it. And really not because, well, a lot of times I have, for some reason, somehow I have something to say. When people speak to me, I have like something to say to help, calm them down or soothe them. But I think what has drawn people more to me is my ability to just listen, and just sit down and just hear you out. And a lot of times that's all people need. Don't even tell me anything. Just listen to me. Especially in this present day where everybody has an opinion. Everybody has gone on social media. One small boy that just got off from somewhere to yesterday, he has an opinion about tithe, about relationship, about
About everything.
about
that
everything.
matters.
But then, so I mean, if a relationship would work, if a marriage would work, both parties will have to learn to give constantly and give listening ears
True.
to their spouses. My number 3, I've learned how to save. How to save money. Thanks to you again. My number 1 was thanks to her. My number 2, thanks to her. Number 3, thanks to her. All right, so I've learned how to save money. Now, I've made small money, and now this small money that I made in my life, or that I've made in my life, was not used up in frivolities. I didn't use it to buy clothes or shoes or all of that. Mostly because of my design. Yes, I'm always looking out for people. I could carry my house rent.
And that's somebody.
Once money comes into my hand, I'm thinking of who was the person that last asked me for money, for something. I mean, that's a beautiful thing, right? It's a beautiful thing. I mean, it's good to look out for people and all of that. However, how about you? How about me?
Who is looking out for you?
Do you understand? Now, I mean, I was never thinking about my future. I was never thinking about how to save up something for the future. As much as I don't ever regret ever being there for people, I still feel like my life would have been much better now if, while helping people, I was also finding a way to help myself.
You mean your life would have been more better now if you had met me way earlier?
So if I had 10 naira, for instance, and even if I had to give out 9 naira, if then I could learn to save 1 naira for myself, my life would have been better. But all I was doing was give out. Like I said, I don't regret it in any way, but my life would have been better now. So when I met my wife, she taught me how that you can still help people. You can still go all out for people without having to you can still help people and help yourself at the same time. Because the Bible says you should love your neighbor as yourself.
I honestly thought you were going to say heaven help those who help themselves. I was just waiting. Forgive me.
Of course, but the Bible says love your neighbor as yourself. So it means you can only give what you have.
True.
You cannot love you cannot love other persons when you haven't first loved yourself. And so it's good to share. But first, be sure that you have some to keep yourself alive so that you can still share tomorrow. So one of the first things I did to learn how to save was to first become accountable, completely accountable to her. You heard her say earlier that she has access to my account. I had to become completely financially accountable to her. So every money that comes, she's aware. Every money that is spent, she's aware. So she started teaching me, how to use percentage to save monies. So now we can keep this percentage to use to help people. We can keep this percentage, for our future, especially because now we're having children. We can keep because we still have parents, to be able to take care of them and all of that. I learned how to save from her, and right now we are much, 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 much better, because um, because I humbled myself, and accepted. And I think it's something that every spouse, should do. Accept or recognize, do a reality check,
Know who is the spender and who is the saver,
exactly.
irrespective of the sex. It might even be reversed the case. It might be the wife that is the spender and the husband is the saver.
Yeah.
Then you help yourself.
Yeah, and I think this actually plays out in a lot of other things, not just money. Know your strengths.
Yeah.
As a husband and a wife, know your strengths, and then complement each other. So one day, one of our aunties, was asking me, Manus, do you have 2,000 naira there? And I said, oh, babe, please give me 2,000 naira there. And then this auntie of mine pulled me to the side. I said, no, 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 no. That's not how things are done. It is man that gives the woman money. You don't do that. It's the man that gives. And I say, oh, sorry, Mao. In my own home, it's my wife that gives me money. That's the only way she can even have money to give me. I mean, the fact that because I give her the money to keep for me, so I can ask her to give me later. Because if I keep it to myself, we won't even have anyone. Okay, of course, I'll now have to go and be begging her for her own, and all of that. But very, very importantly, I've learned how to save. And I think that's something that every family should do. Learn how to save. Maybe not for yourself. Maybe you don't even care about yourself. As much as you are doing for other people, just remember that you have children, who are coming, and they will not hear explanation when it's time to pay school fees and to buy baby food.
All right, we're going to stop here for now. You want to hear more? You want to know what we have learned over the years? Stay tuned. Check out the next video.
That's right.
Don't forget to subscribe.
That's right. We the Manus.
We the Manus.